Hi friends, how are you doing? My name is Lauren. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make my signature layered landscapes. Lots to talk about here about color, texture, and layers. Layers. That's what it's all about. So you can make these funky monkeys along with me. They're hanging out in a bamboo forest. But generally I think this will help you learn how to layer up your designs. And that's it. Let's get started. I went and pulled a big, beautiful earthy color palette here. Lots of greens and tans and browns, and then some bright kind of surprising colors using some of these very opaque glitters. So this is going to be like a bamboo forest. So I'm starting off with a really light color here. This is Sinful Colors So Matcha Better. I'm picking this color because it is sort of light. It's sort of a cross between green and brown, which are going to be my primary colors here for the background. This is a light color, so most other colors are going to show up on top of it. These nature scenes get pretty busy, pretty chaotic, just like real life. I find it's helpful to start off with a white base. This would also look really nice with an ombre. Ombre always elevates the look, but let's skip it for right now. I'll show you a different technique. I'm gonna take this other lighter color. This is Sandman. It's sort of just a buff color, taupe maybe? So I'm gonna take this and do a dry brush. So I'm gonna scrape off most of the polish here onto the neck of the bottle. And then I'm going to very lightly flick it back and forth. Doesn't need too much. I'm adding texture here. I find it's sometimes easier to take off some of this thicker polish that tends to build up on the neck right there. I'm just gonna flick that over there. I'm going to take this Amber Gleam and also dry brush this. I'm going to be a little strategic about this and try to pull it down into vertical streaks. And then just for some more texture, I'm going to use this Crafted Hues. He's wearing her face. And I'm choosing this because it has a little bit of purple and it has some like flakes of yellow. So this is going to introduce just a little bit of purple on there. And this works because I'm trying to work with complementary colors. So if I've got some greens, some cool greens, then I want to try to complement them with some warmer reds and oranges. Since I'm going to be doing a bamboo forest, I'm going to be using a lot of the same shapes, leaf shapes and such. So the thing that I'm mostly concerned about here is how our colors are going to be layered. When we're doing layered landscapes, things that are far away are going to be lighter in color, and the objects that are closer to you are going to be darker in color. And since we've covered up quite a lot of this light color in the background, the matcha, I'm going to bring back this Sandman one. I'm going to pick up this nice big bamboo here. And get rid of some of this. And this is going to break up that background just a little bit. If you have a little extra left on your stamper, it's kind of what the pinky's for, right? No. You're not gonna be able to see a lot of this, so the exact stamping is not gonna matter, especially because our colors are very, very similar at this point. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna move on to Latte here, getting a little bit darker. I'm gonna add some of these branches up here. I'm gonna add a little bit of this Amber Gleam. I'm doing sort of a similar dry brush here, and I'm just adding a couple little light highlights that I want to come through the back here. As you can see, we're kind of in the middle of the forest. We're not looking up at it, or not looking down at it. So I just want to add a couple little sunspots or something that are peeking through. I absolutely love these for my layers, for my layered stamping scenes. This adds so much sunlight and color. They're very, very beautiful. So I'm just gonna dapple that on there. I'm gonna use this Tippy Taps one, which is this sort of ugly green color here. I don't want this flat edge on there, so I'm gonna take off some of that. You can kind of feather an image like this if you don't want to have a straight line. So let's add a little more of this. Okay, very, very nice organic background. Gonna add a top coat here. I want to add some bamboo leaf color here. So I've got a lace wing and headliner. So a little more muted, a little brighter. When I'm making these, I'm really thinking a lot about sunlight, where it's coming from, where it's going, how it's reflecting off of other elements, especially the subject when we get to that. And I'm thinking a lot about complementary colors, meaning colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. For example, we have these cools and these warms, blues and oranges, reds and greens, oranges and purples. One thing that helps me is just to think of holiday colors, because if you think about it, a lot of holiday colors are just complementary colors because they go together so well. Christmas, red and green, Halloween, purple and orange, etc. Here's a few stalks of bamboo down here. This one, I'm gonna blend this. Actually, gonna blend, yeah, lace wing. I just want to carry some of those colors over from the last stamp. Let me blend this. I'm gonna add a little more of these leaves. And don't be afraid to float some of them, have them floating. You know, leaves can be falling or just catching different areas of light. So trust the process on this, you know, just remember that life is messy. I'm moving up to some even darker colors. I'm liking the look of this here. I'm going to add a little of this as well. This is acorn. This is maroon. When I'm doing nature scenes, I really try to avoid just solid black. And I like to use acorn or boba or delirium or some other dark non-black color because there's no such thing as black in nature. Not true black. Maybe one more. All right, that's looking pretty good. Lots of depth. Just for interest's sake, I'm going to take some of these little lines here in this maroon color. Just going to add a little there. So now we have a little pop of color there, and also it gives it a little movement. So just those little things can kind of add up, at least in my opinion. Let's add some monkeys. I'm going to use acorn again. And I'm thinking we'll do these guys first. Okay, I'm thinking there's only room for the bottom one for now. So I think these are like little capuchin monkeys. They have kind of a buff colored front. I'm only going to partially paint these leaves. And I'll add a little more of this green. We're going to need some sticky base. Okay, let's add Mr. Monk here. Put him kind of in the middle-ish. The last thing I'm going to do is go in and add some more warm highlights just to make our colors pop a little bit more and make it look a little more alive and bright. So I'm going to mix them together here on my palette just a little bit because the red is a little too strong. So I just wanted to soften the red with this orange here. And what I did was add with a brush these highlights kind of near the complementary colors. So I put this reddish by the green, and that really makes it pop out of there. So I've just added a little of those colors strategically along here and such. So just adding a little bit more color really ties it all together. Okay, what do you think? See how we took that really nice cool green background and turned it into sort of a sun-dappled forest here? Just adding those complementary colors, building them up and up into all these layers and textures. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Tell me what you think and what your opinions are, any thoughts. If you like this video, make sure to drop a like on it. It really helps me a lot. And yeah, I guess that's it. So until next time, my friends, bye.